Welcome to episode 44 of the Lightning Round. I'm your host, Lightning, and with me today I have a very special co-host. Welcome, Duhad, to the show.
Hello there.
So, a couple announcements that we're going to go over is that the past couple weeks have been a little bit crazy. There was, it was finals week, graduation, stuff like that. Stuff that was a little bit beyond my control when it came to time, free time and stuff like that. I also had to move back home, and so there's been a lot going on, which is why there was a delay in episodes. This one, this one was supposed to come out last week, and then I was supposed to have a break this week, and things just didn't go as planned, but we'll just keep on going with that. AR is going to be busy for the month. I'm not even going to count on him to be in any of the episodes because I know how busy he's going to be for this month. So we'll wait until June to actually have him back on the show when he's got more free time at night. But he will return. So for now, I'll have different people joining me. Like usual, Soundspeed will be joining us on the weekends for interviews and stuff like that. During the week, when we actually do the main portion of the podcast, I might have different people, like Duhad this week.
Hello.
So just know that for the next half of a month that we have left, it could be a little bit erratic when it comes to uploads and stuff like that, but we'll try to keep get back on a schedule by the time June rolls around. Speaking of future episodes, next week we have our interview with Anonymous Pegasus, and the week following that, I am not 100% sure what we're gonna do. However, with things that have popped up over the last week or so, we might have an Equestria Girls discussion. I'll have to think about that and talk about that next week, if I do decide to do something about that, or maybe it'll be something completely different. So just take note of that, and that should lead us into June, and I'll think of more stuff after that. So with that, we'll head into the main portion of the podcast and talk about a little bit of news. We are going to start off on a little bit more of a serious note this time. Equestria Daily recently brought out a appeal to the fandom entitled "Keep Calm and Trot On," and just so we can get this thoroughly,
so we're on the same page on this thing,
right? I'm gonna read it off so that everyone knows what it says, and then we can discuss it a little bit. So I'll go ahead and start. Our fandom has seen its share of upheaval and drama in the past half of a year or so, with the coming of Alicorn Twilight and the reveal of Equestria Girls. Not since the departure of Lauren Faust as executive producer back in the first season have I seen such unrest in the community. But unlike those times, the way the fandom has handled this news has at times been not exactly ideal. We have spewed some vitriolic things at Hasbro for sure, but we have also done the same to the people who brought us ponies and made them what they are, the good folks at DHX. These folks, for going on 3 years now, have not only done the impossible and made those who would scoff at the MLP name ardent fans, but have also shared in our enthusiasm, become part of the community in their own wonderful way. Never before have I seen such tight connections between the creators and the fans, a connection I fear without would have lessened many of our experiences. This connection has also been a feedback loop that fuels our passions as well as their own, making them work long into the night and both on weekends and weekdays to make the best things they can because they love what they do and they love seeing us react. Unfortunately, with such tight connections, the bad has a way of affecting things as much as the good. Word has been getting around that since the trailer of Equestria Girls was released and us learning that DHX was behind the movie, that attacks have been made on the competency and commitment and ability of the staff to pull this off. This wave of negativity, compounded surely by the months of them nervously waiting on our reactions, has apparently gotten more than a few of the members of DHX disheartened and possibly considering leaving the show. While I can understand that change is scary and that it can be easy to let emotions run high and say what comes to mind, the negativity that has a real life impact, something I can relate to very much as of late. One of the greatest things about the fandom, in my opinion, was that it was a community filled with caring individuals who they might not agree on certain things, were at least respectful when they did disagree. I am in no way advocating we be blind optimists, but that we should take greater care in our disagreements with these changes and also to put more trust in our friends, which have given us 65 full episodes of Pony. There are already some signs the new series will have at least some of Friendship is Magic's charm, with clips of Twilight adorably adapting to human life. And even if Equestria Girls doesn't pan out as we still have season 4 of Ponies coming to us in normal fashion this winter. So let's give them some encouragement that we still trust in them. A campaign is underway on Twitter under the hashtag #ThankYouDHX tag. So go lend them some support, encouragement, and love. At the very least, they deserve a shot to show us what they got right. We gave them a shot once when we all watched our first MLP episode. Why not give them another chance? Let's be the supportive community we're known for, supporting one another like our fun-loving ponies.
Amen to that, brother.
Now, I have to be a little bit I have to be frank when I talk about this, because there's this whole reaction to this thing has hit a chord with me. Equestria Girls is by no means going to be anything bad. I am not going to say anything about it until I see it for myself. And frankly, anyone that says that the movie is going to be shit is just, I mean, how arrogant do you have to be to immediately judge something based on what you feel is I don't even know what they find wrong with this. You know, the fact that they are making a story where, I mean, it's still ponies. Twilight, the synopsis that Twilight is going to this alternate dimension to find this crown that was stolen. It's not that they're turning into humans for good. It's not that they're randomly, changing the ponies that we care about into humans and going off on a spin-off series like we thought they were going to do when these images first appeared. This is a movie. It's a movie, a one-time thing that I would assume they're going to go into this human world and come back at the end. I find it actually kind of an interesting idea, something that they had the guts to actually try out, and I don't see how it's going to be so terrible that people are automatically shitting on it before it even comes out. It's still going to have the same animation, same music, same personalities, same voice actors. It's just a different approach to the show.
Now, before you go running off into the comment sections to start complaining about how Lightning is clearly wrong about this, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I have spoken at length in other places about my problems with the concept of equestrian girls. But here's the thing. I don't particularly like the idea. I'm still going to give it a shot, though. And anyone who's going ahead and going, like, no matter how much you hate the idea, no matter what primordial urges cause you to strike out against the very concept, that gives you absolutely no right to go after, the people who are behind this, the people who are putting in serious effort in trying to make the best possible quality product they can, and turning on them because you don't like the idea. Just because you don't like the idea doesn't mean these are bad people. It doesn't mean these people are, screw up their job or betraying the fandom. You have zero right to go after DHS, and hell, you have zero right to go after fucking sorry, I don't know the language policy. Freaking Hasbro on this because you haven't seen it yet. You want to complain that it, looks bad? You want to complain that it might well be bad? Sure, go ahead. But don't go and just say, I am so much smarter than the people who are running that company. I am so much smarter than the creators. I am so much more creative and intelligent and beautiful and perfect that I can just say, that looks bad, it's going to be bad, period. Fandom over. It's done. We're done here. Like,
Now,
arrogant.
I am not going to say that it's going to be spectacular and, a huge success. I will not say anything about it until I actually see it for myself, which may not be until fall. They have said that there will be a premiere on the hub for fall. I'm sure there'll be people live streaming it, stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters just because of the restrictive dates that they have. I mean, it's going to be in a lot of theaters, but it's only going to be played for like 2 weekends.
Yeah, and not New England, so that's fun.
Yeah. So, we will cross that bridge when we get there, and we will do a full review of Equestria Girls when it comes out and when we have all seen it. So, until then, I
Theorize all you want, but don't send hate mail to the creators.
well, plus you can't send hate mail to these guys when we don't know exactly what it's going to be. Yes, there are some things about it through the trailer that we've seen that are ringing alarm bells. But we may be, when you have an hour and 15 minutes of content and you're trying to put it into a 3-minute trailer, or less than it, I don't even know how long the trailer is, but you're putting it into a trailer, things get misconstrued and misunderstood, because you're not seeing the entire picture. I know a lot of people are upset about the possible love interest that Twilight Sparkle has. I seriously doubt that it's going to be any kind of love connection there, but more of a friendship instead. And I am really interested to see how a pony that gets changed into a human would react. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how they go about Twilight meeting her friends in human form. And until I see the entire thing, the entire animation and stuff like that, I really can't comment on how well the animation is done and how well the voice acting is, but I would assume it's going to be just as good as the regular animation for the show. So
We'll see.
But yeah, I guess what we can do to end this off, this portion off is let's go ahead and play that trailer for the people who haven't seen it, which I'm sure there aren't many. But we'll go ahead and play that trailer for you guys right now.
Enjoy.
I am excited, but I'm a little nervous too. Twilight!
You'll soon know more about this place than even I do.
What am I?
Whoa, you okay?
You must be new here.
My magic isn't working. My name's Twilight Sparkle and Pinkie Pie? You're officially up for the coveted Princess of the Fall Formal Crown.
Where is this Twilight Sparkle?
I'm so nervous I know!
You do realize that's not a real word, right?
So, with that out of the way, we can move on to some other news this week.
Indeed. Let's see here. Apparently, BronyCon, as well as a number of other events, are getting a fair number of voice actors coming on the show. Kathy Westlook and Michelle Creeber, aka the voices of Spike and Mayor Mare, and Apple Bloom, the singing voice of Sweetie Belle, respectively, will be attending BronyCon, which will be nice.
It's pretty much, a given that these guys are going to be there. But, it's always good to have the confirmation, Let's see here. I wonder if they have a list of anything else. No, it looks like they have two press releases, one about Kathy Westlock and one about Michelle Creeber, but I don't see a list of all the other ones that have already been.
As things continue to be in the off season, there's not as much news coming out, at least not as steadily, except when major drama like the whole,
Well,
yes.
Happen. Yeah. So, we'll keep an eye on that, and as it gets closer to BronyCon over the summer, we'll try to put together a whole list of everyone that's going to be there, and try to report on that. But that's still months and months and months away, so we're not going to worry about that yet. There's also later on this month going to be two birthdays. Sibsy and Andrew Francis have birthdays on May 24th and May 27th, respectively.
Now, Sibsy is the storyboard artist, is she not, or am I?
Yes, Sabrina Alberghetti goes by the name Sibsy. She's the one with her OC Wildfire that's really famous.
Yeah, it's the tan and dark brown maned Pegasus, who appears in a number of animations and comics and all sorts of other things. If you hadn't known who that was, that's actually one of the show creators, or storyboard artists at least.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Andrew Francis is, of course, the voice of Shining Armor and Brayburn and basically any other male character who...
Well, no, the whole Brayburn thing has been kind of...
Yeah, well, that's a little bit weird. But the point is, he plays a number of the male characters, including Shining Armor. So if you hear a guy on the voice who isn't... if you hear a guy on the show who isn't Peter New or Lee Tokar, it's probably going to be Andrew Francis. They don't have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, happy birthday to both of them. Way to go, fellas, lady fellas, gender neutral fellas.
But yeah, and there was I think this was a art gathering, so there might be some pictures. I might look and see how many there are, and for the art compilation at the end of this podcast, I may or may not put a Sibsy Shining Armor compilation at the end. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, you'll see. At any rate, I believe there was, I don't know if there's anything else major that happened recently. Unfortunately, most of my news sources have been clogged up by, more large traffic announcements.
Right. Canadian theaters have also been confirmed to see for showing Equestria Girls. If you guys are going to take the time to watch the movie when it comes out in theaters, there's a whole list of locations. Most of the 50 states are playing it, but I mean, some of them are fairly localized. Like some states only have like one theater that's going to be playing it, so you may or may not be in the region that has one playing the movie, but the entire list is located on Equestria Daily, and there's quite a few theaters that are playing it.
So don't worry, it's not in a city that's. If you're not living in or near a city that's playing it, again, it will be appearing on your television stations and
Later
probably on the internet. Not too long after its theatrical release.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing too, is that it's debuting on the Hub this fall. But I mean, are we not going to see someone videotape it or somehow get a hold of it and put it on the internet before then?
It's easily possible, though. I personally tend to pick up my ponies on iTunes just because I kind of feel a little bit bad about, not paying for something I love so much.
Right.
Not that anyone should feel bad about doing that because, hey, you do what you have to do.
To each his own.
But at any rate.
We've also got someone, and I can't remember who exactly it is that's in charge of this. We have a brony that's been doing a lot of compilations recently. Every time the name Twilight is said, every time the name Fluttershy is said.
You would be surprised how many times those names get said.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then he does stats at the end, like who says it how many times and stuff like that. Very good. I'm not going to put that in the podcast this time, but I do want to mention it. Yes. A lot of these are fairly long because
again, the number of times that they say these things is pretty impressive.
And they go through all 3 seasons, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. If you have the time, sit down and watch it. If only just to figure out exactly how nuts it can be. It's honestly, I was slightly surprised because I've seen some of the older ones where they say every time they say pony or something like that, and it's pretty ridiculous, but you can kind of, guess it since it's, it's a fairly commonly used word on the show. But then the names, people, it's crazy.
Now, there's no poll that is currently up at this point in time, but one did just end. They had a question: if Pony was contracted for a big budget game release, what type would you like to see? And overwhelmingly, what was said, what was voted on was Western RPG, open world Skyrim style. At the same time, the second and third place answers were MMORPG and Japanese RPG, linear story focused Final Fantasy style. So it's safe to say that if we saw a pony game, RPGs are the way to go.
Yes, it's kind of hard to imagine a game that didn't rely on story and character, especially something as silly as a first-person shooter or a fighting game. Well, okay, Fighting Magic looked amazing, but a more traditional fighting game or a platformer. We see plenty of those in the Phantom already, a first-person shooter. Stuff like that. Probably, not going to happen. Let's face it, if you want to do something with ponies, you probably want to do something that, you're going to be able to interact with either the world or the characters. RPG.
Right. And so, I feel a lot of the fan games that are coming out are going that way. Obviously, there was MLP Online that was kind of like a MMORPG.
Womp womp. Unfortunately, yeah, there's a lot of really interesting fan projects that have been in the works. So with the shutting down of things like MLP Online and Fighting is Magic, I can only assume that some of the more ambitious projects are kind of turtling up a little bit in order to avoid getting the legal ban hammer brought down on them.
Well, and now there was something in a nightly roundup that was up recently. Something about someone trying to put back together the Fighting is Magic team.
They're already back together doing something else.
The actual main 6 team is. But there's another one that's actually trying to revive Fighting is Magic.
Fighting is Magic as a project?
Yeah, and finish that project. I don't know why they're even trying unless they've already spoken to Hasbro about it. But
which I kind of doubt they have. I mean, the thing
right.
is, if they weren't going to give permission to a team that Lauren Faust would end up joining, I kind of doubt they're going to let a bunch of anonymous, dudes, couple together the remains of something that already got, their band hammer and let them put it back together again. I mean, if for no other reason, then it would be a really bad thing for the company to do in terms of enforcing its copyright to say, we will stop you from doing this stuff unless you try and do it again, in which case, whatever, go ahead.
Well, yeah.
But hey, if you succeed, then I'd love to play that game. Yeah.
And Japanese Dragon Shy came out recently as well. Now, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Japanese episodes because I don't speak Japanese and I don't know what the big deal is. But if you want to see a dragon speak in Japanese, by all means, go ahead and watch it.
If you're a huge fan of Japanese culture and you just can't quite get behind an animated program that isn't subtitled, your fix is here. Dragon Shy time.
Right.
Well.
As for more news here, the Brony Thank You Fund is trying to get their new tax-exempt status, and in order to do that, they are putting together a huge charity event where they have a giant poster that is signed by 23 of the VAs on the from the show. Let's see here. What do they got? They said they have Ashley Ball, Andrea Lidman, Kathy Westlake, Nicole Oliver, Tara Strong, Tabitha St. Germain, Michelle Krieber, John Delancey, Lee Tokar, Peter New, Andrew Francis, Lauren Faust, Jason Thiessen, Megan McCarthy, Amy Keaton-Rogers, Sabrina Alberghetti, M.A. Larson, Cindy Morrow, Stephen Andrews, Daniel Ingram, Andy Price, Katie Cook, and Stephanie Buscema.
Wow.
And that is a lot of signatures. For those of you that are good at math, you can take 23 times the $20 or $30 that it takes per autograph when you go to a convention and put that together to see exactly how much something like this is worth.
Once you figure it out, post it in the comment section because I can't figure it out on my own.
Now, in this case, the way that they're doing it is that you have to donate at least $20 to their CalArts scholarship, and when you donate $20, you get put into the drawing for the standing ovation poster, which is what it's called, the standing ovation poster, which is by Pixel Kitties. Apparently, it's pretty famous. There's one of these that hangs on the walls in DHX, and so that's pretty cool.
So let's face it, boys, you can get an amazing poster signed by all of your favorite creative people, and all you have to do for it is donate money to charity.
$20.
$20. Let's face it, that there is a bargain.
Well, yes. And there's other prizes as well. Another person will get a custom drawing of their OC by Sabrina Alberghetti. There will be 20 MLP trading card mats given out. And the only rules for the OC drawing from Sibsy is that it has to be a single character, no trademarked characters, so it has to be an OC, and there won't be a background either. So, but it's pretty cool to have your OC drawn by someone that draws for the show.
Yeah, this is Sibsy. This is a really impressive artist who does work for the show. Okay, that is worth it all on its own.
Right. And it's for charity, so everyone likes that.
Yeah, so let's face it. Worst case scenario, you walk away with a good feeling that you did something nice for someone else. And the smug feeling of satisfaction that all those people who made fun of you for, liking the show, can, bite the fact that you are giving money away to charity and feeling like an awesome person. And they're not. So you're better than them. Go ahead. You know you wanted that feeling.
Yes. We also have another animation to talk about. This one was pretty cool, featuring Spitfire and Lightning Dusk having a Mortal Kombat style fight.
Well, more of an old school Kung Fu style fight. A few too many limbs remain attached to their bodies for it to be Mortal Kombat.
I suppose. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to show that video off, and then we'll come back and talk about it afterwards. All right, so obviously Spitfire wins because Spitfire's
course.
just that awesome.
Also, damn, you see them going around like that? That was
Well,
some
yeah.
cool stuff there.
Well, and the animation was a little bit. I'd never seen this kind of animation before. It actually kind of reminded me of like Samurai Jack at some points in time. But yeah, the animation was really good, and I was actually interested to find out who would win. But of course, Spitfire
Yeah, of course.
is.
Let's face it, you got a, mean-spirited Rainbow Dash clone versus Spitfire. Who do you think's going to win?
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Lightning Dust, and I don't think she was that bad of a character. She just kind of got caught up in the moment.
I don't know. I kind of always felt that Lightning Dust was, intentionally supposed to kind of be, Dash if her negative qualities were played up. But at any rate, she's no Spitfire.
Right.
But yeah, no. Talk about some, great scoring as well. That is some good old school kung fu hustle stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I kind of want to go back now, and that video is actually making me want to go and rewatch some old kung fu movies. It's always wonderful when someone manages to really capture the spirit of the type of things that they're parodying and or paying tribute to. And this, despite a couple of kind of goofy bits that are very funny, but not necessarily in the spirit of the original, shows that in the original movies they're parodying, really does capture the spirit of, cheesy chop suey kung fu films.
And I never really got too into kung fu movies when I was growing up. But I guess I'd kind of be interested in seeing some after watching something like this.
Definitely. Also, just as a side note, I absolutely adored the little bit where Spitfire's hair gets dunked and it's extinguished for a second. That was cute.
That was pretty funny.
Oh man.
Now, we also have some another animation to go over. For those of you that are a fan of Fluttershy's Lament, which is it's another song that just takes her some of her lines from the show, puts it to music, and it's been out for quite a while. But now that Equestria Girls is coming out, they've done a little bit of a PMV where they have the humanized ponies do it. Now, after watching this, I'm very impressed with the facial expressions that they're able to put into this video because it's perfect. Perfect compared to the show. When I'm watching the video, I can see, Fluttershy doing it in the show.
If
when I'm watching,
Girls, hits this level that these guys hit, it'll be all good.
Yeah, and so we're gonna go ahead and show this one to you guys as well.
She's not a tree, right? She's not a tree, Dash. I want to be a tree. To be a tree, you're such a wow. I'm the world champion, I bet you can't beat me. She's not a tree, right? I want to be a tree. To be a tree, you're such a wow. I'm the world champion, I bet you can't beat me. Not a tree, right? A tree, Dash. you can't beat me.
Not a treat, right? It's tricky that.
I like to be true, 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 true. To be true, such a wow. I'm the world champion, and bet you can't beat me.
Not a treat, right? It's tricky that.
Oh, that would be wonderful. So filled with song. It's spell, spell, spell. Filled with song, filled with song. It's spell, spell, spell. Boy, I want what boy, boy, I want. It's a boy, I want what boy, I want what boy, I want. It's a boy, I want what boy.
Not a treat, right? It's tricky that.
So, I mean, I guess you guys can make your own opinion about it. It's the song is catchy. I've always liked the song.
Hey. It's kind of funny. It's a situation where they took a couple of things I'm not a huge fan of, namely humanized ponies and the tree meme, which I never really, got, but, put it together and with that catchy as heck beat, man, really just gets under your skin in a good way.
Yeah.
I still can't stop humming that little tune.
Yeah, and it was pretty. It was pretty good.
It was pretty. It was well animated, animation. So redundant there, but yeah, no, the really, as we said before the video, really liked the way they managed to capture both the characteristics of the characters, while also really getting a nice fluid animation style for the bits, even if they were relatively small animation snippets. So kudos animators.
Yes. Now, Amazon has a listing for a DVD and Blu-ray that is slated to release sometime in August, and it's not clear as to what exactly it is, but it seems to have an airtime of about 72 minutes, which matches pretty close to what Equestria Girls is expected to be. So we are pretty much, assuming that this one is going to be Equestria Girls. So it looks like August. You'll start seeing the release of that on DVD and Blu-ray.
Oh, baby. Hey, if it turns out to be really good, you can put that one on my August wish list.
Yes.
There's no major holidays and or birthdays in that time, so I guess just the list of things that I'm going to buy for myself. Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, we don't know when in August it's going to be, and I'm going to be going to BronyCon around that time, so I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of money left over, but we'll see what's going on.
I'm not going to have enough money, after you go to BronyCon. What ridiculousness. I've been saving up all kinds of money, then spending it all to get to a couple of British people, across the pond. Damn you, Lightning and Brony Gamer.
Yeah. But it'll be worth it if they can show up.
It will be totally worth it. At any rate, what's next on the list of things to discuss?
Well, yet another animation.
My God.
And this one, oh dear Lord, I don't think we've ever had something that was quite this random. Why don't we just go ahead and show it to you before we say anything about it?
Just watch it. Seriously, just watch it all the way through.
Scootaloo's Bacon Quest. Well,
It had
I'm unsure why ponies would eat bacon in the first place, but she does manage to make it to bacon heaven, and yeah.
the triangle.
Well, and okay, here's the thing. One thing that really impressed me about this video in particular was all the references that it had, because it had a shit ton of references.
all the references.
All the references. I mean, this was like double Rainboom in 3 minutes.
Oy vey.
It you know, kudos to Electric Implosion for doing both the animation and the music for it, because it was just one of those things where it's so random and has absolutely no point, but that's what makes it good, you know?
Yeah. You know, sometimes you just want to sit down and marathon a bunch of Secret Agent Bob or Harry Partridge and just totally go nuts with the randomness. And this is a video that definitely kind of gets that.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a catchy beat, it's fun to listen to, and the visuals, they're not boring.
Now, another thing that came out recently that we're not going to actually show on the podcast, but I wanted to mention was that Brony Theory, which has been putting out a lot of really good, very interesting analysis videos, is actually going to go into his theory about why Cadence is best princess, which, to be completely honest, I was very surprised with, because I've never heard anyone say Cadence is the best out of the 3 princesses, or 4 princesses now. So definitely go and check it out if that's something that interests you. I'm very happy about all these analysis videos, because I love to analyze things, and hearing other people analyze things, it gives me something to discuss and talk about with my friends.
It's always good to have someone really putting in the effort to come up with some thoughtful analysis. And here's the thing, even if you're just saying like, oh, Cadence best princess, skip that video, check it out. You know, someone with a thoughtful, well thought out opinion is always worth hearing, even if you don't agree.
Yeah, and congratulations to Digibrony as well, being selected to take on the analysis section of EQD and finding all these analysis videos to post. So great job there.
Congratulations to you too. Both of you, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. So yes.
Yep.
I believe there was at least one more video that you wanted to talk about.
Yes. The next video that we had was something that was, I guess, it was from a while back, but we never really got the chance to talk about it.
I believe it was it was some sort of Tron thing.
Okay, so I never saw the movie Tron. But, I mean, I had the idea of what it was about, in trailers, and I've seen some stuff about it before. This one was something that took me rather by surprise, though, because I never expected someone to do ponies with it, and it's really good. I was very impressed. The only thing that I was a little bit disappointed about was they didn't have voice actors come in and do the lines for it. They just took lines from the show, which can be awkward at some points in time, but I think they did well with it for this particular video. So I mean, it's something that you have to deal with if you don't have voice actors at hand.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Check it out, boys.
Yay.
So yeah, and it was, it was good enough to get me, interested, and I watched the whole thing, and I was very impressed with it. I like the story behind it, where they're trying to cheer up Fluttershy, and I think it did a really good job with the animation and such. So
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Hey, I'm always a little bit partial whenever you throw Fluttershy into something, but this was a fun animation. It was really really well put together. It's always nice to see someone really go all out in terms of visuals and animation, and this was pretty darn impressive. I do definitely appreciate as well the fact that they really decided to, go beyond just doing a simple crossover video. It's easy and it's, done a lot where they just have, you have you have characters from one series, they get shoved into another one, no explanation, no context, it just happens, it's cool, and then it ends. They actually decide to put in a little bit of work to try and actually get this to make sense, and, big kudos for that.
So to end this off, there's one thing I wanted to go over. We have a convention compilation here. Just a couple of minor announcements. Everfree Northwest is looking for charity items. So if you have any kind of paintings, drawings, sculptures, anything that you could possibly sell at an auction, they're looking for you to donate that stuff. Last year, they said that they earned $13,535 for Seattle Children's Hospital.
Helping sick kids.
Yeah.
What better charity?
I think it's this. I don't know if it's the same hospital that they're going to be raising money for this year or not. But yeah, they're just looking for different people to send in their stuff to be auctioned off. So
hey, if you got something nice, remember, who's it going to benefit more? You or sick children? Sick children.
Right. Brony Fanfare, which was in Austin, Texas last year, is now coming back this year, September 13th through the 15th, at the Holiday Inn Austin Midtown. And they actually recently brought out a animation for their convention, and I love these different animations that are brought out. Obviously, we had Jan Animations that did one for Galacon. This one actually features voices by Rena Chan for one of the mascots of the Brony Fanfare, and it's a fairly good animation to boost
To advertise
promotion
the-
for Brony Fanfare. So
Yeah. And it's always nice to see, I know I've been saying this over and over again, but it's always nice to see when people go above and beyond. And, convention, getting together some people to do a nice animation and the fans getting involved in it, that's always good to see.
speaking of Galacon, both Galacon and BronyCon are joining forces to support Bronies for Good in their Seeds of Kindness 3 charity. Seeds of Kindness is one of those things that I never really got involved in. I never listened to the songs that they had and stuff like that. But right now, they're BronyCon and Galacon are trying to have an auction to support Seeds of Kindness at both conventions. So
Yeah. Can you handle all the charities?
Yeah,
You better be
this-
able to, because, these are great fandoms. This is a great fandom, and a great fandom that gives generously. Generosity.
I've always been really impressed with this fandom since there is a charity auction at almost every single convention.
Yeah.
I don't know any other fandom that does something like that.
Yeah. So continue to show that our fandom is one of the better ones out there, if not the best one out there, by supporting the charities that we set up, and helping the world be a generally better place. Be kind.
And with that, I believe we've covered most of the main news from the last 2 weeks that we've been kind of off the air. So I guess with that we can end this off. Make sure you tune in next week, and we're going to have an interview with Anonymous Pegasus. For those of you that don't know, he's got a whole bunch of stories on fan fiction, specializes in a lot of romance stories. One in particular is An Affliction of the Heart, which I find to be pretty much one of the best, if not the best, fan fictions I've ever read. So we're going to have him on the show next week.
High praise.
So until then, I'm Lightning,
And I'm Duhad.
and we'll see you next time.
Ooh, this is my jam. There is a place where the grass is what's for dinner. Soup, every pony. Charmed, fun and wild. Yeehaw! There must be something in the water.
What?
Sipping rainbow juice, talking elements of harmony. Yeah! Our bronies
Hey there.
hang out too.
Come on, bronies.
'Cause they know we're awesome Phillies.
Come on, every pony.
You could travel the world, but no one can groove like the girls with the hooves. Once you party with ponies,
Party with
you'll
the
be seeing rainbows. Ooh, ooh. Equestria girls, we're kind of magical. Boots on hooves, bikinis on top, furry coats so cute, will blow your mind. Equestria girls, we're pony fabulous.
Yeah.
Fast, fine, fierce, we talk till we drop. Cutie marks represent. Now put your hooves up.
your moves in the air. Break it down, DJ Cone 3. These are the ponies I love the most. I wish you could all be equestrian girls.